Hello everyone, I'm Mark Johnson, President of Tapmatic Corporation, and if you clicked on the icon to watch our video, I guess you already know that this is Tapmatic's 60th anniversary. Our story begins with our founder, my grandfather Andrew Johnson, and it really is an American story, one that I hope you'll enjoy. He was born on a small farm in Sweden in 1893. His formal education ended in the 8th grade, and at the age of 12, he left home and was apprenticed to a cabinet maker. Like a lot of people in Europe at that time, he dreamed of a better life in America because it represented the land of opportunity. He came to the United States in 1911 by himself when he was just 17. He didn't know anybody here, but he quickly learned to speak English and managed to find work. He met my grandmother in Rockford, Illinois. She too had left Sweden when she was just 17 to come to America. She traveled across the Atlantic in 1915 on the Mauretania, the sister ship to the famous Lusitania, which was sunk shortly after her crossing. When my grandparents married in 1917, my grandfather had already learned his new trade. He was a very skilled die sinker and was a foreman at Rockford Drop Forge. During the 1920s, my grandparents prospered, but they lost everything in the crash of '29. Fortunately, my grandfather didn't lose his talent, and he was never without a job. He worked for all the automakers at one time or another, and this meant moving frequently. In fact, my Uncle Eric changed schools 14 times before graduating from high school. This photo shows my uncle, Eric Johnson, with my father, Alan Johnson, in 1933. My father's the one that looks a little bit like Shirley Temple. In 1935, my grandfather started his own company with his brother Carl in Mayville, Wisconsin. Notice the original belt-driven equipment? The Mayville Die and Tool Company grew to be one of the largest independent die and tool makers in the country, and they worked 24 hours a day all through World War II. They specialized in large forging dies, and in the 1940s they also made the dies for the Hughes drill bit, which was the product that originally made Howard Hughes a very wealthy man. Mayville Die and Tool was in business 77 years after my grandfather started it, and became an employee-owned company in 1994. When the war ended, my grandfather and his brother Carl decided to sell the company. They were pretty tired and wanted a change. The family moved to California, and Andrew and Carl bought land and built 2 subdivisions between 1946 and 1952. It was in 1952 Andrew came out of semi-retirement to found Tapmatic Corporation with his 2 sons, Eric and Alan. Notice my dad looks a little less like Shirley Temple here. Eric and Alan exhibited their products for the first time at the IMTS show in Chicago in 1952. Alan is demonstrating the prototype of the first Tapmatic tapping attachment. It was the innovative Model 300. It had a unique design that employed special angular contact ball bearings for reversal. Tapmatic had humble beginnings, first in a storefront in Cicero, Illinois, Al Capone's former headquarters, then this garage in Banning, California. During the early years, our tools changed, the company expanded, and in 1954, Tapmatic put up its first building in Costa Mesa, California. My father joined the company full-time when he finished his 4 years in the Air Force in 1955. He and his brother would work together until 1966 when Eric passed away. Andrew passed away in 1968. This photo shows my uncle and my father with a few of their first products. The weird thing with the bulb was the world-famous fluid miser, our early attempt at automated lubrication. In addition to tapping attachments, cutting fluids became another important product line for Tapmatic. During Tapmatic's early years, other innovative products were invented by my father, like this polishing lathe, and a drill speeder with 6-to-1 ratio that used bearings in place of gears. Based on his patent for the drill speeder, he was actually contacted by NASA and asked to develop a speed-reducing unit with a ratio of 2,500 to 1. Over the years, we continued to innovate, and Tapmatic has been granted more than 50 patents worldwide. By 1970, Tapmatic moved to a new, much larger facility in Irvine, California. And its products kept changing and increasing as well. My father has always felt strongly about advertising. He did a lot of it with his friend and advertising man, Ed Honig. As you can see, they enjoyed their work. They managed to make marketing look like a lot of fun. I think this could be one of the reasons when I was growing up, I always wanted to work at Tapmatic. So did my sister Valerie. She handled the advertising with Ed and my father until 2009 when she passed away. This is Valerie with our good friend from Manufacturing Engineering magazine, Jack Ryder. Alan also believed a successful company must export and compete everywhere. This led to relationships and close friendships all over the world. At one point, Tapmatic had partnerships in 12 countries and offices or plants in 6, including Switzerland, Great Britain, Germany, South Africa, Singapore, and Brazil. Today, exports account for about 40% of our sales. In 1981, Tapmatic International in Creasern, Switzerland, was opened with our good friends and partners from Swiss Machinery Import, Peter Brandenberger and his father Bill. Today, Tapmatic International is our marketing and service center for Europe. In addition to manufacturing some of our Tapmatic products, they also produce their own line of special valves for the pharmaceutical and food processing industry. Along the way, Tapmatic also private labeled its products for many different companies. We've strayed from the tapping business occasionally, even into golf clubs. Here I am demonstrating the accuracy of our Primaline driver. Unfortunately, not every idea was a hit, but I can honestly say I've never played any better than I do today. The Primaline driver and Synchroflex putter proved to be so good that the USGA said they were illegal. Sorry about that, Tiger. We tried. This is another interesting product invented by my father, the SMG Spear Gun. My dad was an avid scuba diver and he also loves to fish. As a kid, he always dreamed of going underwater to hunt his quarry instead of waiting for them to bite. The SMG Spear Gun employed a powder charge to fire the spear. Here's my dad with his invention. It's hard to believe, but I have the feeling marketing spear guns might have been even more fun than marketing tapping attachments. Another nice thing about selling these guns were the great photos and letters people would send to us. The SMG was even featured in a television show called Primus, and makes a cameo in the movie Jaws when they're getting ready to go out on the boat to catch the great white. It's also the only Tapmatic product ever featured in Playboy magazine. Unfortunately, sales didn't meet our expectations, and we sold the product line to a company in New Zealand in 1972. Recently, Tapmatic has added 3 types of marking tools to our program. They're all designed for use on CNC machines and allow you to mark parts while you make them, eliminating secondary operations. Here's Annie, an important member of our Tapmatic family. She helps us draw your attention to our Tapmatic website, and she takes her job very seriously. You may have seen her in some of our Tapping Questions ads. I think she wants me to tell you about Concept 2020. At Tapmatic, we've always focused on the development of new innovative products and continuous improvement. Looking forward, we'll produce even faster, compact tapping heads for today's demanding high production applications. We are also looking for better methods of holding taps and plan to introduce a short, reliable, quick change system that eliminates adapters or collets, provides a secure positive lock, and excellent concentricity for standard taps with a simple modification. Thank you for taking time to hear our story. We really appreciate it.